then Judge McBurney has come to his foreperson's defense, telling ABC News today, I explained you don't talk about what the group discussed about the witness's testimony, but you can talk about witness testimony. You could talk about things that the assistant district attorneys told you. And then finally, you can talk about the final report because that is the product of your deliberations. But it's not your deliberations. So if I'm getting this right, what the judge is saying is that these grand jurors are allowed to talk about anything in their report, including their recommendations for charges. If they're allowed to talk about it publicly, as Judge McBurney is claiming, how does it make any sense that the actual report recommendations are still under seal by this judge? The judge also seemed to downplay the power of the jury as he defended their ability to speak out. He said, quote, this grand jury's sole role was to prepare a report that was merely a set of recommendations for the DA, full stop, nothing more. And so folks should think long and hard about what impact at all this special purpose grand jury's work would have should there be an indictment down the road. So if this special grand jury doesn't mean anything and it isn't significant at all, then why is anything under seal? And I am truly confused. Here to try and help us clear things up, Pete Skandalakis, who has worked with and known Judge McBurney for more than a decade. Thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. So what am I missing here?
Mr. Abrams, you did a good job of summing everything up and also being able to express the confusion I think that the general public has with what's going on. I think you've done a great job.
So, but explain to me the judge's thinking here. I want to read something else that the judge said about this. He said, it's just important not to apply the wrong standard to grand jurors in this jurisdiction. Their oath requires them to keep secret their deliberations, and it's a different oath than what federal grand jurors take. I mean, it sounds like what the judge is saying is, you know, this whole special grand jury kind of doesn't matter. Just a series of recommendations. Kind of who cares what they say publicly? Their report doesn't matter. But this, you know, they have the power to subpoena witnesses. This is not a nothing grand jury.
Well, that's correct. It's a special grand jury that does have investigative powers. And, you know, I can't get into the mind of Judge McBurney, but I think what Judge McBurney is saying under the Georgia statute, the grand jury oath, tells them they have to keep the deliberations secret, and just the deliberations. It doesn't talk about the presentments. It doesn't talk about any tangible evidence that they reviewed, and it doesn't talk about any testimony. So the fact is, you know, I think now some legislators are really looking at the oath that the grand jury takes and starting to question, maybe we need to tighten it up a little bit. But the special grand jury does have a good purpose and a purpose that helps prosecutors look at what evidence is available should they decide to bring charges.
Yeah, I'm going to read you again. You mentioned the oath. This is, again, something that the judge said. I reminded them in their oath, which is a statutory obligation, they not discuss with anyone outside their group their deliberations. That's the one word that's in the oath. It's important for people to understand that witness testimony is not deliberation. So it sounds like the judge is saying that it's perfectly fine for this grand juror to stop playing games and say, well, it's more than a dozen, it's less than 20, and she can just go out there and say, look, we recommended that they have 16 indictments, and 4 of them were against this person and 2 against that person. Sounds like the judge is giving them the green light to go ahead and talk about that, right?
I could not disagree with you. I mean, that's what it does sound like. I would caution any grand juror not to do that.
Yeah, me too.
Because it defeats the purpose, as you said, of the grand jury report. It does show a weakness in the oath that a judge gives a grand juror. And so, you know, you're absolutely correct on that. I mean, I don't have a good legal argument to counter you with what you're saying right now.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.